Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And presented by Tony Mart Presents. The opinions expressed are not those of Town Square Media or station advertisers.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Welcome. Tony Mart Presents music, food, fun, travel, and we are traveling. Believe me, we are leaving the old Pueblo and our home here in Oro Valley, where the snow is still trickling down. Rivulets of water coming off the 9,000-foot mountains of the Santa Catalina. I'm looking at Cathedral Rock, surrounded by little tiny melting waterfalls. And we're heading to a place where they'll have a lot of ice and snow that isn't melting. We're headed to Bergen, Norway, and we will be on the blues cruise of the Norwegian fjords before we head to Jazz Fest in New Orleans to see the Rolling Stones and all of the great groups there, many of whom are going to be coming to the Jersey Shore to play at our concert events this summer. We are very, very excited about all of that, and we're going to talk primarily about Summers Point because we have Nick Regine as a guest today. He is the founder of the Atlantic Care Concerts on the Beach, which we're hoping and praying will get nominated. We'll know sometime this month if we get nominated so that you all can vote for us to repeat as the number one outdoor concert venue in USA Today, according to the Readers poll. We're ready, and we are loaded for bear, and hoping that you all get the chance to help us. We won't know anything until sometime later this month, but we do know about Nick Regine and what a great guy he is, and that he is the energy behind the South Jersey Jazz Society, and that they will be doing a show on the beach on June 7th, the week before we start our shows at the Atlantic Care Concerts on the Beach in Summers Point, June 14th, 2024. And Nicky also has a great book called, I think, In Between Drinks. We'll talk with him a lot about that. And then also we'll switch gears down to New Orleans and have that man about town, Uptown Jim Toohey. And we're going to have a party at Jim Toohey's house in July, but it's too soon to think about that. We got a lot of parties to go between now and then. And, of course, we'll be with Jimmy down there at Jazz Fest, and we're going to kick it off today on the show. But more important than anything, I want to start today. First of all, let me thank Chris Coleman. Chris Coleman is such a great professional, and I love working with him. I also love Johnny DeMasi, who does a great job on the radio, and we're all winners. We all are winners. We all have the highest rankings in our time slots, and I'm proud to be with these great, great people. I'm a rookie on this radio stuff, but let me tell you, we got a lot to say and a lot going on. And what I want to say today is happy birthday, Nancy. My beloved wife. I have the greatest wife in the world. I say it all the time. And she is going to be celebrating a birthday in Bergen, Norway. And it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Hopefully the sunshine will be out that day on her birthday. The next day we get on this, it's like an eco-tourism type ferry. And, you know, we're going to be on there for 12 days, and we're going to be with, we'll talk all about it when we get back, but 8 bands, including Kid Anderson from Ricky Estrin and the Nightcats, and another 4 blues duos and several blues performers. Every night there'll be blues music parties on this ship. What's it called? The Havila something or another here. Anyway, let's get back to Summers Point. There would not be any kind of beach concert at the level that Summers Point is at without Nancy doing what she does. Please understand, she does the work of a comptroller, and she works along with the fantastic women in City Hall. Nancy, Brianna, of course, is number one, helps you all the time, but also she has an assistant who is Jason Frost's assistant that helps you. Jason Frost is fantastic. He is the city administrator. Shane is the comptroller. Okay. Well, anyway, Nancy is the one that puts it all together. And really, you could not, because the administrative costs of doing something on the level that we're doing would add an awful lot. And it really raise eyebrows, and that would be taxpayers' money. But we're doing 14 shows, 13 Friday nights, beginning on June 14th. And this year, the emphasis at all of our shows, all over, we're going to be doing a lot of shows, mostly Summers Point, of course, the Atlantic Care concerts on the beach in Summers Point. However, Atlantic City as well. And we're waiting for the final nod, the final approval. We did receive a very important preliminary approval yesterday, so we are celebrating, and we are very grateful to Mayor Marty Small and all of the people at the State of New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority and the mayor's office in Atlantic City, and Howie Mason and the police department and Chief White, and they're just great. They're great to us, and there's a long tradition there. My mother and father were married in St. Michael's Church in 1936, and Nancy Marotta was born there in Ventnor in a little private hospital, huh? I'm not going to say how many years ago, but she is darling, and she is so important. She is the epitome of a great local committee woman and all the things that she does. But, the story is going to unfold about the beach concerts in terms of not only Summers Point, but I believe also Atlantic City. However, we cannot be certain about anything in Atlantic City until the final approvals, which are just under 2 weeks from today. But we feel very good about it. And we have Mayor Marty Small and his team and a lot of other people who know us and love us, as you know. Great deal of respect for Tony Mart Presents at the CRDA. But this thing about the big beach concerts, I want people to understand that the big beach concerts that, where Live Nation makes so much money, and they say they don't make a lot of money, but they charge a lot of money and they sell a lot of expensive drinks and whatever it is that they do. This is not a negative thing about Live Nation. But what it is a way of explaining that at the Summers Point Beach concerts, and hopefully once we receive the final nod, the final okay, formalizing the funding at Mardi Gras on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, we have the stars, the headliners that would be coming to that festival. There's a Peach at the Beach festival coming up, and it's mostly dedicated to the Allman Brothers and the tribute to the Allman Brothers. And when we get around to Atlantic City, we are expecting to come up with some very, very major headliners. But in Summers Point, and as well, we expect and hope in Atlantic City, we are going to have one of the biggest names at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival as the headliner of the Tony Mart Legacy Last Waltz. And his name is Dave Malone. And I was with Tony Mart Jr. on Easter Sunday, as you should be with your brother here in Tucson. And, we both loved the Radiators. When I first went to the Radiator, I saw the Radiators, I said, oh, okay, the Neville Brothers are the ultimate funk band, and the Radiators are the ultimate New Orleans rock and roll band. Well, they still are, and they will be performing at the huge finale festival at Jazz Fest on the last Sunday of Jazz Fest, which I believe is the 5th of May, the last Sunday. And just listen to what we're talking about here. Dave Malone and the Radiators with Bonnie Raitt and Joe Bonamassa. Joe Bonamassa is indisputably the most popular blues rocker out there on a worldwide basis. And Dave Malone is right there with the Radiators, and he will be on the beach in Summers Point on the 24th of July, which is another interesting birthday date, with the Tony Mart Legacy of the Last Waltz, which is, they left Summers Point, Levon and the Hawks in 1965, and when Bob Dylan made them an offer and took them up to Newport and to Woodstock in New York. And 11 years later, when they were ready to hang it up and Robbie Robertson was ready to go off to Hollywood, they did this concert called The Last Waltz, which became the legendary, one of the finest, I think, along with Woodstock, the two best rock and roll documentary movies ever made. And we will do our rendition of that on the beach in Summers Point. So you're going to have Honey Island Swamp Band, Johnny Sansone, Bob Margolin, Steady Rollin' Bob Margolin, who was in the movie with Muddy Waters, and Bonarama's great Mark Mullins, who did all the horn arrangements. So we're very, very proud that we have come to that level. And the week before, we have Taj Mahal's Phantom Blues Band. Taj won't be there, but of course, this is the band that plays with and has multiple Grammys with Bonnie Raitt and B.B. King and Taj Mahal, and they will be on the beach. And we're anticipating announcing other dates as well with Curtis Salgado, who is the blue-eyed soul monster, one of the great soul blues singers of our time. So I want to thank Nancy Marotta on her birthday, which is coming up in just a couple of days, huh, Nance? She's looking at me here smiling. And I want to thank this next guest. I thought it was appropriate that I have the birthday salutation to Nance and our guest here on whose shoulders we stand at the Atlantic Care Concerts on the beach, Nick Regine. Nicky, thank you for agreeing to come on the show.
Tommy, as always, my pleasure, buddy.
It's great to have you. A tremendous respect we have for you. You started all of this when you were the recreation director for the community. You basically defined that position, and now you are in the position of director or president of the South Jersey Jazz Society.
Yes, correct. President, yes.
So that's been quite a journey of producing music and producing free shows and very reasonable shows. And you have a whole schedule of events. Let's talk a little bit about it, please. And as I mentioned already, we have the 7th of June when you're going to be performing, having an 18-piece big band perform on the beach. And that is really exciting. And I am really looking forward to the Andrew New Big Band on the William Morrow Beach. Go ahead.
Yeah, Carmen, that's really a culmination of our spring series. We do jazz all year round. We have, twice monthly events at Gregory's. Matter of fact, we have one tonight. It's really a kickoff of our spring series. We have Sharon Sable doing a tribute to Blossom Dearie this evening at Gregory's, and that's part two is Charlie Apicella. He'll be doing like a blues jazz fusion thing in May, and then the final one is Andrew New, who is a Grammy Award-winning trumpeter, and he's out of New York, and he's bringing, like you said, 18 pieces down to the beach. It should be a dynamic affair there, and all these first call musicians out of New York coming down. So it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a ball. But
very exciting. Very exciting, Nikki. I love jazz big band. I'm so happy that you're bringing that, and we're honored and privileged to be there with you as part of that night. And then you have a big festival in October.
Yeah, October 10th through the 12th. The theme for this year's festival is Bases Loaded. We want to feature jazz basses. We have John Patitucci, another Grammy Award-winning bassist. He's going to headline the event. We're in the process of booking some other, first call renowned bassists who are going to be featured during that time period. They'll basically be at the Gateway Playhouse, right next to the beach in Summers Point. That's where the headliners will be playing on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And we'll be also doing some small groups at Gregory's to go along with that. So that's also in the works. So we're looking forward to that. And this is actually our 20th year of existence. All came down. I've talked about it before. Is when I got ready to retire from community education and recreation director, I knew that one little piece that what I used to do was not sort of going to survive me, and that was a jazz piece. So we formed a 501c3 nonprofit group that at that point in time was called the Summers Point Jazz Society, and it's grown from there. We went from doing a 2-day festival annually to doing, as I said before, a year-round calendar of jazz events. Really, we really created. I'm very proud of this, and it's it's not. I'm just not patting myself on the back. I think a lot of people deserve credit for it, but it's actually a jazz scene here in this little
right.
town. You who would have thunk it? You could create an actual jazz scene, but we have, and it's exciting, Carmen.
It is, and jazz is sophisticated. It's eclectic. Not everybody listens to it. It's kind of easy for me to put a Leonard Skinner tribute band up there. People are going to come and yell Freebird, but you're doing something very, very, as I said, elite, intellectual, and a real accolade that belies, Nikki, if you will, the true nature of what Summers Point is. What it was in the summer before casinos, even, right? And the fact that it's a sophisticated place, like Atlantic City, like Cape May, where people went and enjoyed their life in the summer at a beautiful, beautiful place. Your book is about part of that. And In Between Drinks, is that the name?
It's called Between Drinks is what it's called, and it's half memoir of me growing up in Summers Point, talking about growing up in a town which has changed over the years. But the essence of Summers Point is still the same, Carmen, as you well know. But
right.
Things have changed. You no longer have vegetable huskers going up and down the street. Buying their wares here. Right. You no longer have the mosquito trucks riding up and down, spraying for that white stinky smoke out to kill mosquitoes. You used to ride your bicycles behind, and probably doing severe damage to brain cells. But we didn't know as 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds, and that stuff is all gone. Summers Point, the essence of Summers Point is the same. And the other half of the book is really sort of a tip of the hat to tap rooms, bars, saloons, the whole heart of Summers Point, which, sort of sets it apart from the communities which surround it. And it helps, it has a culture which has developed around that scene. And I sort of go into that and talk about a little bit of what that culture was like. And I talk about some of the stories, old bartender stories, old stories that some people may know of, some people may not know of, but it's definitely a tip of the hat to not only the bars and the tap rooms, but actually the bartenders too.
Right. I mean, this is what I'm always talking about, and it's people know that I like to have you. I wish I could have you actually more than we do, and I think we need to have you more because you are really you and I speak with the same voice in a lot of ways, and I'm honored about that because you've been my friend, like a big brother to me since we were kids, and I am so it's so way beyond like just money or ego. This is about Summers Point. We love Summers Point deeply. You and people like Gregory and, Kirk Garrity and those of us who have been here doing these things. And really nobody comes to mind more than you. And we really do have something unique. I mean, I forget Asbury Park for a minute. Okay, Asbury Park has become, huge, iconic because of Bruce. But before there was an Asbury Park, there was Atlantic City and the north side of Atlantic City connected to Harlem. There was Cape May, 400 years of history as the first steamboat resort in the East Coast of the United States. And there was Summers Point. And it says something about Summers Point, doesn't it?
I think it says a lot about Summers Point. I think if I can get anything across to your listeners, I think Summers Point is unique from the standpoint is that it's like a small little city. And I say that in a way the demographics are diverse. There's a buzz. I always have to use the word buzz. Summers Point has a buzz to it. There's something going on. There's something happening here.
Right.
And that you don't find that in every community. I don't want to name names, but you can look around, and other communities, unfortunately, do not have that same buzz, that same energy. That is which is to me, it's about being alive, Carmen. Summers Point's alive, and don't get me wrong, there's warts, and I would be lying to you if I said Summers Point is perfect. It's not perfect, but the imperfections are what makes it real. It just really makes it real. I mean, it's just its location by the bay. It's maritime history. It's connection with fishing and crabbing and clamming and stuff like that. It just makes Summers Point special. I would not want to live anyplace else. And I'm glad I grew up here. I'm glad I had something to do with continuing to make Summers Point that little town where people want to go.
Well, you are a major, major causal factor in perpetuating this great heritage, this historical culture, I like to call it. I'm plugging away here. For the first time, Nikki, we're going to have John Cafferty doing Eddie and the Cruisers on the 4th of July, which I think was a long time coming. And this other legacy of the last waltz, these are the things that make Summers Point so unique in terms of popular culture. But I want to put you on the spot for a minute. Don't you really think we should focus on a little bit more intensity and diversity and development down on our precious bayfront so we can have more culture and more musical venues? I mean, that's what I've been wanting to see for a while. How do you feel about that, Nikki?
Carmen, I could not agree with you more. I think, I have to be honest. I think in many ways, there's been chances which have been missed by the powers that be to do more things down here. This place could have, Bay Avenue could be more than what it is, the whole area. I mean, I think cottage industries along side streets along Delaware Avenue, Summers Avenue,
right.
Higby, all those side streets, out of the bookshops and things like that developed there, which, never seemed to catch on as far as the politicians were concerned. I thought, never had the will or never had the guts to be able to pull this off. There needs to be more things for people, for pedestrian traffic to draw people here to walk. You have the different restaurants and places like that, the marinas and stuff like that. But you need to drive pedestrian traffic here, and there by having little shops along the side streets, you could do that without having major impact on. And I'm tired of people complaining about parking. I think the best thing that happened at Summers Point is if it had a parking problem. It doesn't have a parking problem. Yeah, I know people would disagree with me on that, but it does not. That's the best thing that could happen to it. If it, look at Cape May. People will park 5-6 blocks away and walk to go to a place, to go to a restaurant, shop, something like that. Because,
and we're doing shows down there, Nikki, for the first time in Cape May this year. I'm going to do a couple of shows at the Cape May Convention Center, and there's a group of city fathers and property owners that are very excited and paving the way for us down there. So none of these things happen by accident. And I like adding your voice. I mean, everybody respects you that knows you. Let's face it, there's a lot of new people in town that don't know you or me, but they hear that we do good things. And I think it's important that people know that our heart is in this place.
And there's a lot of other people like us too, Carmen. We have a little group called the Summers Point Unique Experiences Club. I mean, you got Ellen Hyde on it, you got Chuck Westcott, you got Walt Gregory, and we're just doing some small little stuff. But again, it's quirky, but it's again another way to keep the energy alive. We're having your All Bozos on this Buzz Bar tour on Sunday here, which is named after that Fireside Theater album that came out back in the back in the 60s.
Right.
So we're going to all these people are going to dress up like clowns, and we're going to take a historic tour of the various bars in Summers Point. Kirk Garrity's going to be there, and he's going to talk about the various bars and their history, and we're going to go. We're going to Crab Trap, we're going to Durios, going to Anchorage, going to Josie Kelly's, Gregory's, Charlie's, and we're going to clown bomb. There'll be 20 people dressed as clowns. That's one of the things. But in May we were having an evening in Paris. We're doing it at Gregory's. It's going to be a Parisian recreate that feel of a 1930s or 1940s French bistro, and then in October we're doing a night at opera for professional opera singers, and it's sort of like Victor's in Philadelphia, where we'll be creating that. So there's it's just more than jazz and more than that. So we'll just but there's a lot of I guess my point is there's a lot of people who who are involved and help out to make this thing happen. And I like to right now give them a big thank you.
Yeah. Well, I love Walter Gregory. I love working with him. He's a fantastic. He's a guy who takes the spirit of Summers Point, adds his entrepreneurial and professional expertise, and is just a wonderful guy to co-promote with. As are you, my friend. Where do you get the book?
The book you get at Sunroo's Words of Music in Ocean City, or you can stop by. My wife has an art gallery on Bay Avenue, 829 Bay Avenue, and you can get it there. So, and I'm I'm in a second printing, and it's going pretty well, and I'm very happy with the way it's been received.
Oh, great, Nikki. That's fantastic. Congratulations on that. And people can get it online, I assume, as well?
No, unfortunately, I can't. They have to go to Sunrose. I'm not sure if Sunrose can get it online there. I'm not sure about that. But or they can just contact me, They can contact me, and I'll get it to them.
And they can also send an email to Tony Mart Presents at gmail.com, and we'll hook them up with you, because we're proud to be a part of it. And I certainly want to have you down on the beach and dedicate a night to you this summer, and have you there at a table signing books and letting people know just how great we are, how great you are, how great we are. I love you. I appreciate you so much. And let's get together again next month in May and do another show.
Anytime you want it. Anytime. I'm available, buddy.
All right. Thank you. God bless you, Nikki. And
cheers. Yeah, same to you, buddy.
Folks, you can stop by and see Nikki and Kathy Arlett, the curator at the Great Bay Gallery. They've got the books there, and it's a wonderful part of the Bay Avenue, the historic Bay Avenue ambiance. Nick Regine, God bless you, Nikki.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, let the good times roll, as we like to say. I cannot possibly say enough good things. And this stuff is really hidden over there in Summers Point. The Bay Fest this year now, under the leadership of people like Janice Johnston, our new mayor, Dennis Tapp, a lot of energy. Janice is a tremendous friend to the culture, and the city itself stepped in and secured the operation of the Bay Fest, which for years was done by the Bay Fest committee. I was actually just talking to one of them, a lovely woman, very, very dedicated and bright, Mura Cosgrove. And they did a tremendous amount of work. Of course, the folks over there at the restaurant on Bay Avenue, the Heeb family. I had Mr. Heeb several times, the people at Doc's restaurant. But this thing is going to really blow up this year, because my friends at the Point, and as you know, Tony Martz has a relationship with the Point, rocking the Point with the Billy Walton Band all summer long, free Thursday nights, June 27th through August 31st. Free shows with the great Billy Walton Band and Destiny Monroe, the whole band, horn section, everything free, 7 to 11, rocking the Point. But Eddie is going to have a big event at the Bay Fest, and you'll be able to go to the Point from 12 to 4. He's going to have a dance party with DJs. If people want to have great dance music, request what music they want to party to, and hang out at that beautiful, beautiful tiki bar and tropical nightclub, The Point. He's going to be there starting 12 noon. But then at 4 o'clock, he has one of the top, what we call them cover bands. One of the polite term that I use on stage and in my writing is party dance band. Bands that play the songs that people love and want to party and dance to. And, of course, we have half of our concerts on the beach in Summers Point. People like the great Dane Anthony and Red and the Tony Mart All-Stars and the Billy Walton Band and Wildflower this year on the beach. They played at the Mart in 1970 when those songs like Chicago and Earth, Wind and Fire and all of that, Blood, Sweat and Tears, those big horn band sounds started to really, were hitting, and then, all of that. They will be on the beach this summer doing a Tony Mart 70s party. So these are those kinds of bands, and Eddie will have the exceptions, one of the best, a really fine band, a local band, and they'll be partying from 4 to 8. So if the weather is decent, that's going to be the place to go with a jacket or sweater and hang out and enjoy the point on Bayfest. Anchorage is going to have a beer garden. We thank Mr. Fitzgerald there. He is doing a great job at the Anchorage. There's so many great things happening down there. Caroline's is killing it. Gregory's is just marvelous. Charlie's, what's going on down there? I can't say enough good things. It'll all be happening on the 27th of April in Summers Point. That's less than 4 weeks. Actually, this show, it's 3 weeks from when you hear this show. So I want to move to another great member of the community, Circle Liquor Store. When we say Circle Liquor Store is there, we really can't give you enough. There's not enough time to give you all of the examples. Anybody who has an event or something, and they're trying to raise funds, badly needed funds, the Circle is always generous. The Circle is the sponsor of the Atlantic Care Concerts on the Beach. The Circle is a sponsor of Tony Mart Cares. The Circle has the new wine garden. And this is something I'm proud of. And for the last 2 years, we've had a wine garden at the Good Old Days Festival. And Circle Liquor donated everything so that money could go into the Historical Society funds for all the great things that they do for the community and the scholarships and so on and so forth. The Circle Liquor Store is a sponsor of Tony Mart Presents concerts on the boardwalk. Tony Mart Presents Mardi Gras on the boardwalk, which we're hoping to officially announce, as I said. And Circle Liquor Store is always there. And there's no question that that's where you want to go and where you want to enjoy yourself. And there are some really fabulous wines that I can talk about because, the wines are my thing. But also there are some really, really fine beers, craft beers, all the latest things that are going on, the cocktails in a can. Everything is at Circle because everybody wants to be at Circle. All of the massive distributors want to be at Circle Liquor Store, and that is why we can. By the way, I want to mention too that we can thank Circle Liquor Store and tell everybody that this is where it's at. And we are tremendously thankful because it is a place where you can feel good about going and patronizing because of how much they do constantly for the community. And I wanted to mention the fact that they are open, so conveniently from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, 7 days a week. And they have so many different diverse products that you can enjoy. For instance, the wines. Right now they have beautiful Pinot Noirs, which are just excellent. The Bohème Pinot Noir, the blends. We're going to have one of the greatest groups in the world, absolutely one of the greatest groups in the world, on the beach this summer on the 19th. I misspoke, by the way, before. The last waltz will be on Friday, the 26th of July. It's Fridays on the beach. It's Wednesdays on the boardwalk. So I naturally get those confused. But the Phantom Blues Band will be performing. Now, this is a group that, Bonnie Raitt, Etta James, Crosby, Stills and Nash, to this day, Taj Mahal, the trumpet player, Les. is Herbie Hancock's first call jazz trumpeter. Okay, we're talking jazz. How about Herbie Hancock, one of the greatest living icons of jazz? This is his trumpet player, and he'll be on that beach, along with Stevie Ray Vaughan, sax player, the great Joe Sublett, and Tony Bronigal, the producer who's produced The Animals and produced Robert Cray, and, of course, won multiple Grammys with Taj Mahal. Johnny Lee Shell has dozens of Grammys, and he won several with B.B. King because he has that clean sound, that blues sound that is unmatched, and the B.B. King people want him on B.B. King albums. And this is all going to be going on. And the cool thing about this is we're going to have Phantom. Circle Liquor Store has Phantom, which is a blend from Lampastole, I believe, if I can find my notes from the wine goddess, Julia. The Casa Lampastole is a wonderful, wonderful Chilean wine, and we're going to be talking about that, especially in Atlantic City, where we have our own, hopefully our own cafe on the boardwalk, and we'll be having the Phantom Red Blend with Phantom Blues Band, and also with Phantom Blues Band is a favorite in Summers Point, the great Curtis Salgado, the man who taught the blues to the Blues Brothers. They are going out together, a major tour only. I think it's less than a dozen cities, and they're going to be here in South Jersey because I stepped up and said I'm in right from the beginning. And you all are going to benefit. What a treat that will be when the great Phantom Blues Band brings Curtis Salgado and Heather Hardy, Little Mama, Heather Hardy, a great violinist and funky blues mama, great performer. She's going to be a part of the mix as well. She's going to perform with Phantom in Summers Point, and I believe we're going to try to have her come down. Everything isn't final in Atlantic City yet, but we're going to try to have her come down to Atlantic City as well and perform that week of the 17th and 19th of July. Always a great time. But Circle Liquor Store is there. They have the 200-plus bourbons, over 200 bourbons. They have an incredible selection of exotic tequilas, the vodkas, rums, Caribbean rums. I mean, you can get what you want, or they'll get it for you in 48 to 72 hours most times, because they have so much power with the distributors. I've seen it over and over again. If you go see Chester Malloy, the really wonderful and very, very bright wine master at Circle Liquor Store, he'll take out his cell phone and call like the top sales manager for the top distributor in the state and say, what do you got? When can I get it? And that's unmatched service. I mean, it's a joke to compare that to some box store, like warehouse boxy place. Circle Liquor is the place to get ready to party, to let the good times roll at Circle Liquor Store. And I want to thank Jeanette Gemza, the queen of Circle Liquor Store, and that whole great staff over there, Phyllis and Stephanie, and as I said, Chester Malloy and his son, Chet Light, Tim, and JM, the big guy, and Jordan, the craft beer guy, and so many wonderful people. Tony Mart loves and is truly, truly grateful. We have a few major sponsors, and one of them is Circle Liquor Store, and one of them is The Point, a fabulous nightclub right across the street from the Holy Ground there, where Tony Mart's once stood, and Richard Gerber Insurance. These are our very special, close family and friends and sponsors. I also want to thank all the people that support us. I was talking to a couple of them on the board of directors of Tony Mart Cares, Dara Quattrone, and old school Jimmy Glenn. And we're lining up some concerts, putting together some extra funds from some new sponsors, and we're going to be doing some shows. And one of them is, well, probably both of them are going to involve old school Jimmy Glenn. But another one is going to be at this man's house, the man I'm about to introduce to you, because he's headed for, I think, 2 weeks in the city that Care forgot. And we're going to be partying down there in New Orleans for the Jazz Fest. Billy, what do you think it means that the Rolling Stones have finally made it to Jazz Fest?
Well, Carmen, we can't count on it yet, but it looks like it's really going to happen this time. And there's so much excitement about the Stones being there. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they pull it off, you know? I'm very interested to see how it's done, and I'm sure you, as a promoter and someone who throws some of the best parties in South Jersey, it'll be interesting to see what happens down there.
It will be. It'll be really something, and we're very excited about it. I assume that you will be down there for a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah, I'm heading down on the 23rd. I'll be there for both weekends at Jazz Fest, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you and Nancy. And we'll have a lot of our crew down there. It's going to be a lot of fun, like it always is.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You always have your posse out, and we have so many friends down there and so many great musicians, and we're going to be seeing all these great performers like Johnny Sandstone in the blues tent, and Honey Island Swamp Band is on the Stones Day. They're one of the opening acts at one of the other stages before the Stones, and they're going to be coming and spending a lot of time with us in South Jersey doing the last waltz, the Tony Mart Legacy last waltz with Honey Island Swamp Band and Johnny and a lot of other, of course, Dave Malone. Just take for a minute and help me try to explain to people what it means to have Dave Malone here in these intimate settings of 1,000 people or so. I mean, he's a true rock star.
He really is, Carmen. And, with one of the most seminal rock groups from the New Orleans area, from down there, the Radiators, he was with them for many, many years. He's been involved in a lot of other bands and a lot of other projects. Really good rock music, but with such a New Orleans funk undertone and vibe. I think people around here, of course, you've brought the Radiators here in the past, and I'm sure a lot of people will remember Dave Malone when he's been here with them. And yes, we're really looking forward to it. That's one of the great things about Jazz Fest. I get to wander around there and listen to these great bands, but there's tens of thousands of people at these stages. And just a couple months afterwards, I get to see them again in the luxurious, venues that you present, two of the best venues in Atlantic City. And you're either on the beach in Summers Point or you're over there in Atlantic City. I hope we're coming back. It's just wonderful to see those groups. You can really get up close and personal with them. Of course, they're from the South and they're from Louisiana, and they're friendly. They love to meet and greet the people. And of course, you as the impresario and the intermediary, we really get the best of both worlds. We get to enjoy it in New Orleans, and then we get to really enjoy it right here at home. And I know we'll see all of our regular people here this summer. We're really looking forward to it, Carmen.
Yeah. Mark Mullins is going to come up and do the whole horn arrangement with our own great saxophone player, Howard Isaacson, with Mark Mullins doing the horns on that last waltz. That's going to be an unbelievable thing. And I'll tell you something, Jimmy, Dave Malone is really excited about it. He did the last waltz with Don Was, the Rolling Stones producer, and he's done a lot of last waltz shows with the big boys, Warren Haynes, and a lot of people. and he's really excited about what we're doing on that. And tell me some of the other things that you're most looking forward to. I know you love all the eclectic and interesting Louisiana acts.
Well, I think it's a little cruel what the Jazz Fest did to us on the last day of Jazz Fest. They put 4 or 5 of my favorite acts on to close the festival. So I'm either going to have to get a pair of roller skates or I'm going to have to just pick one. But just to give you an idea of the magnitude of this wonderful the granddaddy of all these great festivals. At the end of Sunday, they have Trombone Shorty, the up-and-coming star, and, his family. James Andrews comes up here and is a good friend of yours and plays with you. Trombone Shorty's closing one of the big stages. Bonnie Raitt, all the way at the other end of the fairgrounds. She'll be closing the other big stage. One of my favorite bands, Tower Power, will be closing the Jazz Tent. And Earth, Wind, and Fire closing the Congo stage. And this doesn't even take into account the Wallflowers, which we know is Jacob Dylan's band, it's a plethora of music and
it's really
we
not
always say whenever you're enjoying one thing, you're missing 9 other great things.
You can make the best festival. You can make the best festival in the world out of what you couldn't see at Jazz Fest.
Isn't it the truth? Yeah.
I'm going to the Radiators because Dave Malone will be there with Bonnie Raitt and Joe Bonamassa. To blues rockers, he's like a god.
Yeah. They got a lot of good talent in the blues tent this year. Chris Tone, Kingfish, he's an up and rising blues star, and you've brought many and many of the great blues artists to Atlantic City. Shamika Copeland, just to name one, and we could go on and on with the great blues acts that Tony Mart Presents brings to South Jersey. And I'm sure you're getting ready.
Tommy Castro's coming back to Summers Point, but this guy, you all out there, Tui just put his finger on something. Christoph Kingfish Antone, I believe that's how you say it. If Nancy was here, she'd be Ingram. Christoph Kingfish Ingram, I think it is. Anyway, he's a big boy, a big kingfish from Mississippi, multi-Grammy Award winner, phenomenal guitarist, beautiful blues vocals. And his producer is Tom Hambridge, who's going to be performing for the 3rd time on the beach this year in Summers Point on the 2nd of August. And we're bringing with him one of our Tucson people, Kevin Pekulis, who's kind of like remember Jerry Jeff Walker? Well, this is like a Tucson Jerry Jeff Walker, and we're hoping to put him and Tom Hambridge together. He is the guy who won multiple Grammys with the Kingfish. So yeah, man, you got the whole thing going on. I think we're running out of time, Tui, but anything you want to say to everybody out there? We're going to do a party. Tony Martz and Jim Tui are doing a party in July. Everybody should keep their eyes open for that.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a big show over here. We'll be announcing the details on that soon. In the meantime, I hope I see you, if you can make it down to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, I hope I see you down there. If not, we're really looking forward to seeing you on the beach in Summers Point and other great locations in South Jersey that Carmen, Nancy, and Tony Mart Presents will be letting the good times roll.
That's right. And we'll see you, Jimmy, in front of the WWOZ tent and interview you on the 27th of April. Are you ready?
Great, Carmen. Yeah. Be sure to tune in, everybody. We'll be live from the Jazz Fest, and we can't wait to talk to everyone.
So we say it with me and say it with Nancy here as we celebrate our birthday. Until next time, everybody, let the good times
roll.
The preceding program was paid for and presented by Tony Mart Presents.
Support for this podcast and the following message come from Corient. Corient provides wealth management services centered around you. They focus on exceeding your expectations and simplifying your life. Corient has been helping high achievers just like you enjoy their lives more fully, preserve their wealth, and provide for the people, causes, and communities they care about. As one of the largest integrated fee-only registered investment advisors in the U.S., Corient has deeply experienced teams in 23 strategic locations. Corient has extensive knowledge spanning the full spectrum of planning, investing, lending, and money management disciplines. Leverage Corient's exclusive network of experts to craft custom solutions designed to help you reach your financial goals, no matter how complex they may be. Real wealth requires real solutions. For more information, connect with a wealth advisor today at Corient.com. That's Corient.com. Corient.com.